For a football club to go from being one of the most respected and successful football clubs in the world to arguably the most unavailing and ridiculed club in the world may be attributable to multiple factors, be it financial issues, poor sporting decisions, ownership and leadership issues. In the case of Manchester United, irrespective of where you choose to point your finger, the problems never seem to end. They go on and on, going beyond the players, the management, infrastructure, etc. The problem runs deep, far beyond what we see on the surface. Let's get into the disastrous ownership history of Manchester United. In May of 2005, Malcolm Glazer along with the Glazer family acquired the controlling part of Manchester United through a leveraged buyout, valuing the club approximately £800 million, then approximately $1.5 billion US. Once the purchase was complete, the club was taken off the stock markets. And what this basically means is that the Glazers did not use their own money, rather used borrowed millions to acquire 28.7% stake of the club, automatically transferring a debt of about 540 million British pounds at interest rates between 7% and 20% to the club. In July of 2006, the club annulled the 660 million British pounds debt refinancing package, meaning they restructured the loans, thus replacing old debts with new debts under better conditions and terms, resulting in a 30% reduction in annual interest payments to 62 million British pounds a year. Despite the restructuring, the club's total debts reached a high of 777 million pounds in June of 2007. On January 23, 2010, the club's death prompted protests from fans and supporters at Old Trafford and the club's training centre. Later reports suggested that Manchester United supporters trust held meetings with a group of some wealthy club fans dubbed the Red Knights, with plans of buying out the Glazers' controlling interest. 2 years later, 10% of the shares were offered to the public, and as of 2019, the Glazers retained ultimate control over the club, with 70% shares and even higher voting power. In 2012, The Guardian reported that the club had paid a total of over 500 million in debt interest and other fees on behalf of the Glazers. And in 2019, The Guardian again reported that the total sum paid by the club for such fees had risen over $1 billion. Now keep in mind that these are monies that could have gone into the stadium, transfers, training facilities, youth academy, etc. Some reports suggested that the debt burden meant that the club hesitated or negotiated harder to save money on fees and wages. In 2023, the Glazers began soliciting bids for the sale of the club. Several bids were received. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who owns Ineos, and Hamad bin Jassim Al Thani, the Qatari Sheikh, were the only bidders who had publicly declared their interest in a controlling share of the club. In March 2023, Finnish entrepreneur Thomas Lekos also made his interest in Manchester United public. On 24 December 2023, it was announced that Sir Jim Ratcliffe had purchased 25% of Manchester United and that his Ineos Sports company was taking over control of football operations. Ratcliffe's shareholdings increased to 28.94% in December of 2024. The Glazers still remain as majority shareholders to date, and until that changes, United might be in this mess for a while.